Hello, everyone. Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. For this Tuesday, October 1st, 2019, I am your host, Russ Williams. I'm glad you can make it here today. I realize you could have been anywhere in this world today. You could have been anywhere in this world today, but you decided to be here with me. And I appreciate that. And more importantly, I appreciate you. So welcome to Transition Tuesdays on this festive first day of October. Man, it's been great weather here in New York City as we have Rich joining us. What's up, Rich? Long time no hear from my man. We got John joining us. Good afternoon, good evening, guys. Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Love having you guys, and everybody else is going to be joining us. Love having you all. Loving you all, guys, here to Transition Tuesdays. Well, a couple of things, guys, before I start the show. I always like to let you know my intentions for Transition Tuesdays, and they're really quite simple. My intentions are to give you the opportunity to laugh, smile, think, and also engage in honest conversations about life's transitions. So that's my intention here today, and always be my intentions here on Transition Tuesdays. And at this time, I usually introduce my mom, Miss May, but she is not here with us today. She's feeling a little bit under the weather, so Mom, get well soon. We're going to love to have you back next week. So my mom's not available today, but she'll be back next week. We'll be back next week with a segment and all that good stuff. So we'll hear from Mom next week. So, hey, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, boy, it's there's a lot of transitions going on in the world. There's a lot of transitions going on in this world, especially on Transition Tuesdays. And we're going to talk a little bit about those here today. So first, I want to talk briefly about let's really chat about the ex-Dallas, Texas cop who killed her neighbor in his own home is found guilty of murder. I want to talk about that as Karen is joining us. What's going on, Karen? What's going on? So yeah, I really want to briefly talk about that. And this just came down to presses today, actually. Today, a Dallas jury found former police officer Amber Guyber guilty of murdering her unarmed neighbor, Botham Jean, in his own apartment, which she said she mistook him. She mistook his place for her place, which is weird. With the murder conviction, Geiger now faces up to life in prison. Life in prison, man. This is really a sad story. As Kat Z is joining us. What's going on, Kat Z? So again, this is a strange case. You know, she's been convicted of murder. Man. So a little bit about this guy's story. It seems suspect from the beginning, if you ask me. It really seems suspect from the beginning. First of all, this young lady, this ex-cop, she was on the wrong floor when she first entered the gentleman's apartment. She lived on the third floor. He lived on the fourth floor. So that's a red flag there. Number one. She feared for her life when she entered his apartment. And the strange thing about that was it seemed like his door was a little open, a little ajar, which is strange in itself. And when she entered the apartment, I think he was seen eating ice cream or some type of cereal, and she felt threatened because of that. That's another weird thing, probably another red flag. I don't know. Also, another thing that seemed suspect from the beginning was looks like he had a red floor mat in front of his apartment, and she never had anything like that in front of hers. So obviously she had to be in the wrong apartment. As Karen says, her story has many discrepancies. She is sorry, but she shot him purposely. You're absolutely right on that, Karen. You know, very many different discrepancies. Absolutely. So yeah, and it's just some weird stuff. So she goes in the wrong apartment. She feels threatened. She goes in the stand and she's crying, saying how she felt threatened, and shoots the guy, cold-blooded, kills the guy in his own place. That's the key, ladies and gentlemen. He was in his own apartment. He wasn't in anybody else's apartment. That's why this is really strange. And to me, they said no alcohol or drug use was involved, but I don't know. This definitely sounds really fishy, really strange. But there you are. I mean, there she is. She was convicted. You know, she was convicted of murder, and I think she's supposed to be serving a life term in there. So, oh man, it's really a strange case. Really a strange case. And the question I have for everybody is, did the Jean family, that was the young man who was murdered, did they receive justice on the murder conviction from this ex-police officer? Do you think the family's going to receive justice on this? And a little sidebar on that. I remember when this first came down and the verdict was read, and I know the mom was, she stood up, her hands raised in victory. And you had a lot of people crying in the courthouse as well, family members as well. So hopefully this can bring some type of justice to this young man, to his death. And the verdict won't bring this young man back, but he didn't die in vain. Definitely didn't die in vain, and his life truly mattered. His life truly mattered. That's how I look at it. His life definitely truly mattered. So I want to get everybody's take on that. Do you feel the Jean family received justice on this murder conviction? And again, this was a strange circumstance across the board. I mean, it's very strange circumstances. And if you do the crime, you gotta do the time. That's the bottom line with this ex-police officer. And I'm really anxious to see what will this transition of this this convicted ex-cop look like. And the one thing I would recommend for this young lady is you gotta have a game plan going into it, because she's going from being a cop to an ex-cop to murdering somebody. So now it's going to be involved in the population of, like prison population, in which, people know about these stories. They know about the people coming in. So, I don't wish anything on anybody, but they definitely need to guard her and, guard her these next couple hours or days, I think, because sometimes, people might do some drastic things. So, but you got to have a game plan. You do the time, do the crime, you gotta do the time. Unfortunately, there's a life missing because of someone's actions. And, in my opinion, I think, based on all the evidence that they had there, seems like they got it right. Seems like they got this one right. And hopefully this young man didn't die in vain, and just really crazy circumstance, crazy developments, crazy circumstance there. So, I wanted to, talk about that briefly. I'm sweating, boy. It is hot here in New York. It's supposed to be hot, we're supposed to get a record here in New York City tomorrow, 90 degrees. We're supposed to get a record high in the month of October, 90 degrees tomorrow. So that's going to be crazy. So we're going to see about this case. But again, the young lady was found guilty of murder, and supposed to be serving a life's term. Life imprisonment in jail. So we're gonna definitely take a look at that. Definitely take a look at that case in the coming days, in the coming weeks. I guess when they finally when she's convicted and when she has to go to jail, so on and so forth. So let's do this, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Next, let's chat about all the president's men getting pinched. Okay, I want to talk about that briefly. Let me see here. Let me just get rid of this here. Okay. So last week, okay, this is like a soap opera. I'm going to read this like a soap opera because this kind of reads like a soap opera, which is phenomenal here. So last week, number 45 learned he will be involved in the impeachment inquiry when he called the Ukraine president to get dirt on his political rival, Joe Biden. Now, this week, only 1 week later, the president's men got pinched. First, you have Rudy Giuliani, who's America's mayor, quote unquote America's mayor, and a personal lawyer to number 45. He's been subpoenaed by the House Intelligence Committee for documents as part of its impeachment inquiry into the president. Then you have Mike Pompeo. He's the Secretary of State, who reportedly listened in on the July 25th phone call between number 45 and the Ukraine president. Now, because of his acts, Pompeo is tied more closely to the House impeachment inquiry. So you got that going on. Then finally, you have the complaints of this whistleblower. Okay, this whistleblower who could be a White House staff member. We don't know yet. It could be he or she. We don't know yet. But this person got the ball rolling, actually, at on this phone call between number 45 and the Ukraine president. Now, amidst all this drama, ladies and gentlemen, number 45 wants to see his accuser in person and learn more about this person, the whistleblower. He wants to learn more about her, him or her. Whereas he is seen last week to be saying, hey, look, back in the days, we did people like this, we so to speak, we executed these people, who might be charged for treason and spying and stuff like that. So be interested to see why he wants to meet this particular whistleblower. I don't know, but I will regress. So I will digress, I should say. So my question is this now. Will the actions of all the president's men, all these guys, from Rudy Giuliani to Mike Pompeo, so will all the actions of all the president's men lead to the impeachment of number 45? That's the question I have. As Chris is joining us. What's going on, Chris? And I had conversations with Chris. He wants to know who the whistleblower is. I do too, Smooth. I definitely do too. I want to know who this whistleblower is. But my question is, will the actions of all the president's men lead to the impeachment of number 45? So, again, I'm not a betting man, but I would say this. Someone has to take the fall for these crimes. Somebody's going to have to take the fall for the crimes. And I'm from the school of thought that the president is not going to take the fall. He's not going to take the fall for the bribes. It's going to be everybody around who's going to take the fall, who's going to lie on that sword. It's going to be everybody else but the president. But you just never know. You just never know. We got Leah joining us. What's going on? We got the husband and wife team just coming off fresh off a conference, the BU conference in Atlanta. I know you guys did well. Talk to me about it, guys, if you can. We got DC Derek Canada, Iona College's finest, joining us here on Transition Tuesdays. Welcome, everybody, for joining us. Oh, we got my boy Louis Garcia, my former Power Memorial point guard. My backcourt mate, Power Memorial freshman year. This cat could do it. He could do it then. I'm sure he's playing ball. I'm sure he could do it now. What's up, Louis? Thank you for joining us, my man. We appreciate you. Perfect. So, yeah, they got a lot of stuff going on with this. All the president's men, they getting pinched. And then from that, that might lead to the impeachment of number 45 that add to it. But again, I'm from the belief, ladies and gentlemen, that somebody's going to take the fall for this. And I think 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be the president. It's going to be everybody around him. Now, if you get impeached, I don't think it's going to go from impeachment. Personally, I think they're going to take care of the people who got to take care of, distract us a little bit, and then I think that'll be that. But the one thing I will say, as Lou says, God bless. Hey, God bless you, Lou. I appreciate that, man. We got Richie joining us as well. What's going on, Richie? So the one thing I will recommend to everybody in terms of what's going on here with all the president's men and the whistleblower and 45 and all this, I just want you all to remember all this madness when you go to the voting booth. Just remember all this stuff, okay? Just remember all this madness and all this chaos and all this stuff. But, when you go into the voting booth, just remember these stories and, vote your conscience, vote what's right, and, do what you got to do. So I'm not telling you who to vote for, but just think about these stories when you're in the voting booth, okay? It should lead you to the right decision for you, okay? I'm going to stress for you. Very, very important. So, yeah, man, all the president's men, they got pitched this week. A lot of stuff going on. And again, a lot of times this goes on, ladies and gentlemen, to distract us. So, like I talked about last week, don't fall for the okie doke. There's going to be a lot of distractions coming forth. Don't be distracted. Keep on keeping on. Don't be distracted. Don't be, don't let these things divert you for what's really going on out there. So again, that'll be my tip. And these gentlemen here, they're gonna, when it's all said and done, they're gonna need a transition game plan too. When they transition out from what they're doing to what they're gonna be doing. Again, gotta get that game plan, gentlemen. Gotta get that game plan. I might have to send you my book, Transition Game Plan. I don't know. You might need a copy of that. From Pompeo might need it. Giuliani might need it. And number 45 is definitely gonna need it. So they definitely are gonna need it. So, we'll see. We'll see on that. But again, this is a lot of stuff going on down the pike. And I don't remember last week We talked about, I think it was, no, actually it was 2 weeks ago. We talked about how college athletes might be in a position to get paid. And now I want to revisit that, revisit the transition of college student athletes getting paid. And I really want to go over a couple of things because this might definitely be a reality now. So California's Governor Gavin Newsom, he signed a bill to allow college student athletes to hire agents and make money from endorsements. So this will take place in the California area. Now, the new law, which is supposed to take effect in 2023, attacks the NCAA's philosophy that college athletes should earn a degree, not money, for playing sports. Okay, so that's the mantra of the NCAA. Okay, they believe for college athletes should earn a degree and not earn money for playing sports. Okay, so I want to read this particular quote by Haley Hodson. She is a former Stanford volleyball player. She summed up the college playing experience best, at least for me. She definitely hits it on the out of the park here. She goes, only a fraction of college athletes eventually turn professional. And for the rest, college is the only time they have to profit off of their hard-earned athletic successes. I think Haley hit it right on the nose. She hit it right on the nose because there's only a fraction of people that are going to turn pro. It's like a minute few people going to be playing professional sports, from the NCAA or they're given sports, a few. But the rest, like for me, I'm included in that rest when I played college basketball. The rest of us who aren't professionals, college is the only time they have to profit off of their hard-earned athletic successes. I definitely agree with Miss Haley on that. We got John joining us, and we got my man Cliff joining us. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Appreciate for having you all come and attend Transition Tuesdays and checking it out. So, on the vein of talking about this, LeBron James has chimed in, and LeBron James has kind of stepped up and kind of been like the spokesman for it. LeBron James said in an Instagram post, he says, the NCAA, you got the next move. We can solve this for everyone. Okay, so LeBron James has chimed in on this. So my question is, will the NCAA make the changes to their rules to get college athletes paid legally? Again, I want to stress legally because we all know, I'm not going to sit here and say that these college athletes don't get paid probably under the table. Some of them, but the very high echelon players, they probably get paid probably a little something, like under tables. That's illegal, right? So the question I have is, will the NCAA make the changes to these rules to get college athletes paid legally? Very, very, very important. Because again, this is all on the NCAA. And I think for the NCAA, they got to really adapt or die because this is the direction in which we're going. And, and one thing I'll share with everybody out there, the Masters, maybe if you're not aware of, as Gus is joining us. What's going on, Gus? Like a lot of times when you play in the NCAA, when you play for college athletics, did you know that if within season you can't work? So let's say, for example, I played at Manhattan College, and in the season time, I couldn't work and play college basketball. Okay, that's an NCAA violation. So with this, for the student athletes making money from endorsements or what have you, this can deter all that. Meaning, like, hey, look, if I got a sponsor, let's say if I'm an elite player and I get a sponsor for Lay's potato chips, okay, right? So that would help me pay for things where if I, because I can't work, but this sponsorship endorsement deal would help me pay for things like I had a job. That would help out in the process. So, it's very important. Very, very important. A lot of people are not aware of, the student athletes, they can't have a job while they're in school. There are so many, and during their season, when the time that they're playing, and there's so many rules and regulations that the NCAA has set up, like rules from like 100 plus years ago that need to be amended, that need to be abolished, some of these rules. And I think if the NCAA, they're going to have to go back and really adapt to these changes, adapt to this law, especially they're going to start in California. but again, it's going to spread throughout the masses. You know, we all know that, especially if it's successful, it's going to definitely spread out. So the NCAA has to adapt or die to these rules, because they can be, you know, they can be cut out in a lot of times if they don't adapt. You know, they can be cut out the way this is shaping it up. So I would imagine they're going to adjust to the rules. They're going to adapt to these rules, and then they're going to continue going on. And that way, that might lead to college athletes getting paid. You know, definitely getting paid. And again, I want, like Chris said earlier, I want my reparations on that too. I'm a former college athlete. I should get a little bit of stipend. You know, you had Ed O'Bannon. He's the guy that really set this off, this whole movement. Players getting paid for their likeness. You know, when he played at UCLA, and he sued the NCAA for this, to have this verdict come down the pike. So shout out to Ed O'Bannon, who really is the spearhead from this movement. So hopefully, you know, guys like that who are involved in this movement change the needle and move the needle for student athletes to get paid. So it looks like we're right on that route there. We got Steve joining us. What's going on, Steve? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays, my man. So yeah, that's the question I have. Will the NCAA make the changes to their rules to get college athletes paid legally? Okay, very important to have them paid legally. This would be, I think this is going to be, this is going to be a game changer, this particular law, this particular bill in California. And again, this takes place in 2023. So you got some time to moderate things and see how it goes. So 2023, you know, we got some time to make some changes and see how that goes in the process. We got William joining us. What's going on, William? Welcome to Transition Tuesday, sir. I think this is William's first time, man. Thank you for joining us, William. Hey, so finally I got this story. I got a little funny story. I like to end off sometimes with funny stories. I want to chat about the transition to parenthood, okay, which is very important here. So check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Iconic Oakland, California rapper Too Short. You know, he's the guy that had this big song, Blow the Whistle, and In the Ghetto. Too Short's been doing it for years. Well, Too Short just became a father for the first time. At age 53, became a father for the first time. So shout out to Too Short. You're going to love fatherhood, Too Short. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. You're going to absolutely love it. So now we're seeing more and more people who are a little bit older becoming parents. And in some cases, they're becoming parents for the first time. And, in some cases, we're seeing women becoming parents in mid-60s. We're seeing this. We're seeing men become parents in the mid-70s. You know, we're definitely seeing these cases here. So the question I have for everybody out there, people would like to chime in, I would appreciate the feedback, is how old is too old to transition to parenthood? How old is too old to transition to parenthood? That's the question I have for everybody out there. We got Kimberly joining us. What's going on, Kimberly? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. We also have Newtown's finest, Queens finest, Mr. Robert Banner, Doc Banner, joining us here on Transition Tuesdays. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So again, the transition to parenthood. Okay, you have rapper Too Short, who just became a father at the age of 53. A lot of men, a lot of women are becoming parents in their mid-60s, sometime mid-70s. I remember hearing a case of a young lady who just had a baby at 72, and a man who became a parent in 78, almost 80 years old, became a parent for the first time. You're hearing all these cases, all these stories. So I want to know, how old is too old to transition to parenthood? You know, is there an age? Should there be an age limit, a cutoff limit to having children or being a parent? You know, what do you think on that? Me personally, I don't think so. I think if a person is able to do it, they're physically able to do it. Like especially in the women's case, if she's okay, if everything's okay, everything checks out. If she's healthy enough to have a child at an older age, if it doesn't affect her, doesn't affect the baby throughout the trimester and everything. If everything is good, hey, I'm all with it. I don't think it should be a cutoff age, because kids are a blessing, and being a parent is a blessing as well. So I don't think it's a cutoff mark. But I know for a fact, like I have a friend of mine who a little bit older, but he just had twins, and that'd be tough to run and catch babies and stuff like that. Especially at my age, I think me, at the young age of 50, but it might be tough to do. But people can do it. I don't knock it. Cliff says, Cliff says, Russ, how can you mention Too Short and not mention I Wish? Oh, I'm trying to think, Cliff, is that I Wish? Is that a song by Too Short? I know I Wish was a song by R. Kelly, but I don't know, maybe I could be wrong, but I Wish? Okay, I gotta look into that then. I gotta look into that one, Cliff. Too Short, I Wish. I will look into that. I definitely will. We're gonna. It's just really interesting. The transition to parenthood. It can come at any time. It can come at any age. And again, I think it's such a blessing. I think it's such a blessing to be a parent. I'm a parent. I'm a father of two girls, and for me personally, my transition to parenthood started kind of like at a not so much early. I had kids when I was 32 years old. That's when I had kids. So, for me, maybe some people might think that was old. But, when it's your time for it to happen, it happens. So, I don't knock, that transition to parenthood. Someone being older, don't knock it. If it's God's will, God's way. That's what it is, no matter the age. As Cliff says, being a dad is the best. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Cliff, speaking of parenthood, I seen your daughter playing for the University of Georgetown volleyball. I see those clips out there, man. Good stuff. She's following in the footsteps of her dad, who's a great basketball player. That is so good. So, yeah, the transition to parenthood, really big, really important. Again, I don't put an age cutoff on having children. If you're capable, physically able to do it, mental capacity able to do it, I'm all for it. Because again, you can't stop the process of when you become a parent and that transition to parenthood. It's really cool. And again, for me, it's nothing like being a dad. It is absolutely nothing like being a dad. So shout out to Too Short for being a dad for the first time. Absolutely. So Cliff says, yes, he's laughing. He says, you are too kind. No, I appreciate that, Cliff. But Cliff was a very good player, man. Very good player at Holy Cross High School. I remember like it was yesterday. Cliff, I remember like it was yesterday. It was all those years ago. I think it's going on close to 30 years, huh, Cliff? But Cliff was the man. Cliff was the man. Still the man, as his daughter's doing it at the University of Georgetown on the volleyball end. That is so good stuff. Good stuff. Ooh. Got anybody else joining us so far? Okay, let me see. So yeah, a lot of stuff goes on, guys, and it's funny. I talked to my mom last week. It seems like there's a lot of transition that goes on, especially on Tuesdays. Besides the show, but a lot of stuff goes down. I don't know. It's just maybe ironic. I don't know. We'll see. We have Calo joining us. Thank you for joining us on Transition Tuesdays. First time watcher. Cool. Thank you. We'd love to have you. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we ponder all those discussions and things that we talked about earlier today, if I usually say we, but today I'm rolling solo today. But if I was able to make you laugh, smile, and think during this broadcast, my good friends, you have accomplished something major today. So celebrate your victory. Celebrate your victory. Really do. Celebrate that victory. Very, very important. Large or small your victory, celebrate it. Go out there and celebrate your victory. So Cliff says, where has the time gone? Friends over 30 years, Russ. Back in the St. Gabriel's days. That is so true. Yes. Oh my God. Man, Cliff, you're bringing back memories, man. You're bringing back CYO days. Oh man, CYO in New York City. Man, where does the time go? You are so right, man. You are so right, Cliff. And again, guys, I don't know where the time has gone, but the time is kind of ended for me today to talk with you today on Transition Tuesdays. I appreciate each and every one of you joining me here today on Transition Tuesdays. Each and every Tuesday, which you all do. I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. And again, if you missed our episodes, our past episodes, you can always go on to our YouTube channel, which is Transition Tuesdays. Click on that. You can check the videos. I'm always posting those all the time. So, if you need a recapper or a refresher, go to YouTube, go to Transition Tuesdays, my channel, and check out the videos. Love to have you back again. Just take a look at those and tell a friend to tell a friend about Transition Tuesdays, the place in which we make you laugh, we make you smile, we make you think here. I know you had a hard day. A lot of you guys had a hard day of work. You come back, kick back and chill, and then hopefully again, you be informed about transitions. You be able to laugh, you be able to smile, and more importantly, be able to think. So I appreciate that. Appreciate all of you guys. So as I always say in parting, happy transitioning, and we'll talk to you soon. Get well, Mom. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.